first heard at a celebration some 22 years ago. It was told by a Manhattan storyteller named John Colligan, who has since passed away kind of unexpectedly. And I regret I never had a chance to tell him how much I enjoyed his story. So I'm going to give it to you so you can enjoy it as well. He called it The Foolish Woodcutter, but I have a version of it that's called The Man Who Had No Luck. Long ago, a woodcutter lived at the edge of a forest. And every day he went into that forest to cut wood to sell in the marketplace. But at the end of some market days, he had sold so little wood, he barely had 2 coins to rub together. So he decided he was going to go find God and ask him a question. He was going to ask him, why? If I work so hard, why am I still so poor? So he set off on his journey. He walked deep into the dark heart of the forest, further than he'd ever been before. Out from behind a clump of trees jumped a long, lean, gray wolf. Hello, woodcutter. Where are you going? Hello, wolf. I'm going to see God. I want to ask him a question. Really? Well, what is it you want to ask him? I want to ask him why, though I work so hard, why am I still so poor? Really? Well then, would you ask him a question for me? Would you ask him why, though I hunt night and day, why am I always hungry? I will. And with a wave of his hand, the woodcutter continued on his journey. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked through the forest till it opened out into a beautiful valley with green fields bedecked with wildflowers, and off in the distance, a stone castle, and a beautiful princess on a milk-white mare was galloping up to him. And as she reined in her horse in front of him, he bowed deeply. Hello, woodcutter. Where are you going in my kingdom? Hello, your highness. I'm on my way to see God. I want to ask him a question. I see. And what could a woodcutter want to know of God? Well, your highness, I'm going to ask him, why, if I work so hard, why am I still so poor? I see. Would you ask him a question for me? Would you ask him, why, though I am beautiful and accomplished and intelligent and fabulously wealthy and humble, why am I so lonely? I will, your highness. And with a bow, he continued on his journey. And he walked and he walked. He walked through the beautiful valley into a land of rolling hills that constantly rose up higher and higher to a tall peak whose head was hidden in the clouds. And as he was walking along the rolling hills beside a rushing stream, a small, shrunken tree called out to him, Hello, woodcutter! Where are you going? Well, hello, tree. I'm on my way to find God. I want to ask him a question. I want to ask him, why? If I work so hard, why am I still so poor? Oh, I hope he has an answer for you. Do you think you could ask him a question for me? Could you ask him, why? Though I live right beside this rushing stream, why am I always thirsty? I will, said the woodcutter, and continued on his journey. And he walked and he walked They began to climb into the high mountains, up the highest peak. He climbed into the clouds and walked through them. And then the clouds cleared away and he was on the top of the highest peak, and there was a silver castle with golden doors guarded by angels. And he realized he had found God. He walked to the door, and an angel opened it for him. Another angel led him into a great hall. At the far end of the hall, a jeweled throne, and on it sat an old, kind-looking man with a long white beard. And he knew he was in the presence of God. He walked up to him and knelt before him and asked him his question. God looked at him with loving eyes and said, "Go home, son. That is where you'll find your fortune." Well, the woodcutter was overjoyed. He leapt to his feet and was ready to take his leave, almost forgetting the other 3 questions he promised to ask. So he turned back to God, asked the 3 questions, got the 3 answers, and made his way towards home. His feet fairly flew down the mountainside. He went into the clouds, through the clouds. The clouds cleared down the mountain into the rolling hills alongside that rushing stream, and the little tiny shriveled trees saw him coming from a distance. "Hello, Woodcutter! Did you find God?" "I did. And he told me to go home, for that is where I'd find my fortune." "How wonderful for you! Did you remember to ask him my question?" "I did. And he told me the reason you are so thirsty, your roots are tangled around an old wooden chest full of gold. And they're so tangled up around it, they can't reach the river to drink. Help me, Woodcutter, dig up that chest. I have no use for it. You can keep the gold. I have no use for that either. And my roots can reach the river." "I'm sorry, I cannot stay. God told me to go home, for that is where I'll find my fortune." With a wave, he continued on his journey homeward. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked many miles through the rolling hills until they turned into that beautiful valley, the green fields, the wildflowers, the castle, the beautiful princess on the milk-white steed. And here she comes, galloping up to him. And he bowed low before her. "Hello, Woodcutter. Did you find God?" "I did, Your Highness. And he told me to go home, for that is where I'd find my fortune." Yes, but did you ask him my question?" "I did, Your Highness. And he said the reason you are so lonely is you have no one to love you." Well, she sat on her horse like a stone statue. Then she looked the woodcutter up and down, and she liked what she saw. "Stay with me, Woodcutter. Marry me. My father will give you half the kingdom, and we can have beautiful children together." "I'm sorry, Your Highness, but I cannot stay with you. I must go home, for that is where I will find my fortune." And with a final bow, he continued on his journey home. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked many miles. Out of the valley into the dark, deep heart of the forest. And out from behind a stand of trees jumped the long, lean, gray wolf. "Hello, Woodcutter. Did you find God?" "I did. And he told me to go home, for that is where I'll find my fortune. I'm almost there." "Really? Did you ask him my question? I did. And he told me the reason you are always hungry, there's no more prey in this forest, but if you wait, a great fool will come along and you can eat him. Really? And so the wolf ate him, because the wolf knows you have to find your fortune where you are.